pretty good. Not seeing much more. Let's see if anyone's asking any good questions on here. Nothing else right now. Let me go ahead and see latest on that tornado warning. Still going to be radar indicated. Hail within the tornado, going to be about golf ball size still, not tennis ball size like we're seeing moving towards Sheffield. And let's go ahead and take one last look at the velocity. Honestly, at this point, I'm seeing very minimal rotation. So we're just going to continue to stay on just for the next 4 minutes, and then I'll get off. You guys can go back to your regular programming. Unless we see another tornado pop up, in which case I'm jumping right back on, making sure that you guys are staying safe. And of course, who doesn't love the sound of my voice? Right, Jolena? All right. Hey, we're still talking about a lot of activity over the next couple of hours and throughout much of this evening. So, you know what? Let's take this as a great example. Today, it's really going to be wind and hail as the main threats, not necessarily tornadoes. So, how does all of this hail form, especially given the heat we're dealing with? We're dealing with triple-digit temperatures across the region, with the exception of once the clouds moved in. So how is a lot of this actually moving through? Well, you get a lot of frozen water in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And if you get strong enough winds, which we tend to get, you get a lot of these winds continuing to move that falling rain, going back up to the freezing level, refreezing it, and then continuing to go up and down until it just gets too heavy and it has to fall down to the ground. So the stronger the winds are across the area, the bigger the hail we tend to see. So depending on the winds, especially when we start to get up to about, the 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, that's when you can see at least ping-pong sized hail. And you know what, even 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, yeah, that's where we're seeing the tennis ball sized hail within that same thunderstorm. So that is certainly going to hurt quite a bit when it falls, and it's likely to damage a lot of property as well. Looks like that this tornado warning is not going to be changing anytime soon, so that is certainly good on that side. And you know what, we still have that warning in effect until we're looking at 4:45. That's going to be, again, for the next 2 more minutes. No big updates from the National Weather Service, and that's going to be the best case scenario. Maybe being left in the dark might not seem like a good thing, but it is. If they're updating us saying, hey, here's what we're looking at, here's what we're seeing, that means they're seeing a lot of activity. If we're not getting updates, that means they're just not seeing anything, and that's going to be exactly the kind of case that you want. Let's go ahead and look at that velocity reading one more time. Still just not seeing anything. It's very small, very minimal, and overall, I think we are going to be on the safe side of this. So, look, before we go, I'm gonna get one last look at the severe storm situation we got going on following this big line of storms across the majority of the region. So, zooming in, you got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings and the 1 tornado warning, and behind a lot of that, you get that dust storm warning. So, let's start off dust storm warning. That's what moved through first. That is going to stay in effect until 5:15. You can see that line of that dust, and yes, it is literally a line of dust moving through. Not going to be the prettiest kind of situation. Low visibility. If you have any kind of breathing problems, make sure you're staying indoors for that time being, because that dust is not going to be going very easy on you. All right. We got that tornado warning storm, and we have that severe warning storm heading toward Sheffield right now. This is just one big clump, and it looks like it's beginning to weaken, so that's certainly going to be some good news, especially with the large-sized hail. Of course, we were projecting anywhere from 2 to 3-inch diameter hail across the region. That doesn't look to be the case anymore. And you know what? Excellent. That tornado warning has gone away. But before we go, one last look at the radar. Still that one storm out near Garden City. It looks to be heading a little bit north toward Forsan and maybe even toward Big Spring. But hey, we're back on air in just 15 minutes, and we're going to have full updates for you on the situation. And of course, we have our own reporter in Big Spring to tell you the latest. Thanks for staying with us.